Lisa Mercado, she opened this really, really cool place in Boynton Beach called The Living Room. And it was just like being in her living room. You sit on couches, she'd be dancing around, and everybody's having a good time. And she sold it, and she moved to Hawaii, and she came back, and she opened, there was this place that was for lease on Ocean Ave in Lantana. Amazing location, indoor and outdoor dining, great bar. And she grabbed it, and she's been there ever since. The place is called Ravish, and I'd like to introduce you to Lisa Mercado. Hi, girlfriend.
Hey, Taylor. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? I have my drapes closed, so I can't see, but it sounds like it's raining out there. Is it?
It is. It is. I actually brought the camera inside. I was trying to find a spot that people would be able to hear me and I would be able to hear you, because 90% of our restaurant is al fresco dining. So with all of the blinds up, you got the rain, you can hear the sounds and the trucks and everything else.
Well, al fresco is a really good thing for these crazy times. And you really do have such a beautiful location there. And basically, because people know you from the living room, what portion of the living room did you bring over to Ravish? Dishes, vibe, what?
A little of everything. People that come here say it's like the living room 2.0. So some of the stuff that I couldn't do at the living room, I'm able to do here. Some more elevated dishes. It's been a stepping stone for me. Having had the Red Lion Pub in Boynton and the Red Lion Pub in Boca, when we opened the living room, we didn't want to do any pub grub. And people were saying, we've been coming to you since 1983. You're going to not put the pub grub back on? So the living room really didn't have a lot of dishes that weren't pub grub. So this time around, having been away for 14 months in Hawaii and coming back, I was able to start fresh. Of course, some of those dishes weaseled their way back in, as they do, but we're definitely able to do a little bit more because we're bringing in new clientele.
And it's a lot. There's a lot of comfort food on your menu.
Yes.
You wouldn't think that. Some people call it pub grub. I call it, it's elevated comfort food. What is one of your most popular dishes?
Believe it or not, our #1 selling dish is meatloaf. Meatloaf.
Comfort food. Comfort food.
Meatloaf. So that, shepherd's pie, crab cakes, fish tacos. Our catch of the day, which we change up. We've been doing some really cool stuff with not only local fish, but salmon from the Antarctic, and just amazing dishes. I have some excellent sous chefs that work along with me. I let them have fish of the day. They get to use that as their kuleana, and I get to concentrate on my comfort food.
Let's go back to the meatloaf for a second, because I am a meatloaf lover. My mother used to make meatloaf, and even though my sisters hated it, I loved her meatloaf. What's the special thing about your meatloaf?
Everyone says it's light and fluffy, which I get that, but I really truly think the reason why it's so good is not only the quality of the meat that we use, but also the homemade gravy. That's what makes it. We actually cook up a whole roast beef, and then I break that down, and that's what we get the gravy out of. It's, it's gluten-free, it's all natural. There's lots of stuff that goes into it, and it takes all day to make.
I'm so hungry after listening to my own show.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. I also didn't get lunch yet. So I was looking at those steaks going, do I have any ribeyes in the back?
Well, let's take a look at some of the food that you have to offer. Ruby, I'll let you put up whatever you want. Let's see. Okay, hello.
Charcuterie. That's so much fun. It's one of my favorite dishes, as well as my daughter's. It's a Bavarian pretzel, actually imported from Germany. Beer cheese. We do honeycomb, different kinds of cured meats, fresh fruit, and the cheese changes daily as well.
I've never seen charcuterie on a pretzel. Never.
I know, it's great, right? Yeah,
you do these cool kitschy things. And that's what
It's
the
fun.
living room was all about. That's what Ravish is all about, is cool and kitschy. And let's take a look at some other yummy, kitschy, yummy. Yeah. Oh, the Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. We actually have had people right before we closed, and then also during the time that we were doing takeout, people were coming in and asking to buy the Brussels sprout sauce so that they could make them at home.
Wow. I love and here's one of your signatures. Yep.
Yeah, who doesn't love warm cheese and puff pastry? Yeah, it's definitely a classic. Everybody can do it. It's delicious and it's fun.
Oh God. And paired with some wine. It kind of, looking at this stuff, it kind of makes me feel normal again, you know?
Yeah. I think we all need that.
Yeah. And you have let's take a look at there's an outdoor area on the side. That's in the front. There's in the there. There's
that's the side too. Yeah, that's the side actually. So that's our garden area, and then to the right where the orange seats are, that's like the beginning of the dining room.
So it's kind of indoor, outdoor, sort of, because you have those the sides of the building that basically come apart. If that's not the right word, but
yeah, we can put those sides down, but we leave them up. First of all, that's what everyone wants. When you come to Florida, you think about, outside. I have an amazing partner, Arlene Klein, who is very supportive. So when I said to her, Arlene, we can't put the sides down again this summer. We need them up. We need to have a different kind of, AC or a misting system or something, so that not only do our guests feel safe and our staff feel safe because you're not in, recirculated air, but that's how people want to dine when they come here. You have the live music and the cafe lights and the gorgeous outside. So, my partner's like, okay, let's look into a system. So we have a wonderful system that is being built. Hopefully will be delivered within the next 3 weeks. So you'll be able to dine with the walls up, outside, al fresco, all summer long. That's
great. That is really great. And I'm looking at Tammy, Marco, something. Can't see it over there. I love your shepherd's pie. There we go.
Yeah, shepherd's pie. That goes back to the Red Lion in 1983. And of course, that recipe came from my father-in-law, who was born and raised in the UK and had pubs all over there as well.
1983. What were you, 5 years old when you started in this industry? Seriously.
Yeah.
Did you think you'd be doing this? How many? I don't even know how many years that is. It's a lot.
It's a long time. Yeah. I started in the restaurant business when I was in high school. I was a hat check girl up in Pennsylvania. So when you would come in, you would give me your first, and I would hang it up and give you a little, no, they didn't have that, but give you a little ticket, and then you came out and I gave you your coat and you gave me a big fat tip. So it was fantastic. And then I moved down here and I was working at a country club and met my husband, and his family was doing the Red Lion, and that's how I kind of eased my way into it. They're like, oh wow, she can cook, put her in the kitchen. And then they're like, oh wow, she can be out front too. So next thing I knew, my husband decided he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, and I did all the restaurant stuff, and then we opened the living room. And then I went away to Hawaii, and my partner, Arlene Klein, kept saying, please come back, please come back. And I said, well, only if you'll be a partner. And that's why we're here today.
Oh, and and welcome back. People missed you so much because you brought something new and old at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you go to the living room and you go to Ravish, the whole place it's, tell me about the antiques, because when you go in, it's not like high-techy looking, it's comfortable. Where do you get your furnishings?
Believe it or not, most of them were donated. Same thing at the living room. We were very fortunate that we would have people like, let's say their mom died or the grandmother died or their great aunt, and they inherit their house or their condo, and they have stuff in there that they don't want. And some of it's worth stuff, worth money, and some of it isn't. and they don't want to get rid of it. So they're like, hey, could you use this? And so we put it into the restaurant, and it's really nice because then when they come in the next time they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing that in my grandmother's china cabinet when I was growing up, or, oh, I'm so glad you got some use out of this thing because I didn't want to throw it away, but what do you do with it? I didn't want it in my house. So it's kind of nice to have, family and friends, whether it be mine or my guests, and have them part of our restaurant because it really is an ohana.
Oh, that's so great. So can people actually bring you things if they're going to put
they do all the time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They do all the time. Yeah.
That's so good to know. I'll be over with like 10 storage units worth of crab. Thank you. Seriously. It's good crab. That's fun. I don't know what to do with it. Memorial Day weekend. What's going on at Ravish?
Just regular. We have live music. We're still doing our live music. So we always have supported local musicians. And we continue to do that. So we will be open 4:30 every day, have some live music going on, and, regular menu, and we'll throw some specials in.
And the specials are always delicious and lots of yummy. You have a great wine list. You have a great, awesome bar, really good bar.
We do. We're very fortunate.
Yeah. Craft cocktails and the like. Well, it's Ocean Ave, right? Is that correct?
It is.
Okay.
Correct. We're on Ocean Avenue, just a little bit west of the Intercoastal Bridge. So again, very fortunate with the location. We have a lot of people that come over from the Palm Beach and from the Four Seasons. We were having an amazing first season. The concierge at the Four Seasons and Palm Beach were sending us groups of everything from 2 to 125. So it was a very amazing first season, and to have that kind of shut down right at St. Patrick's Day, was a little disappointing, but it also allowed us to do some things like look into this system that we want to, better serve our guests come the summertime.
And speaking of systems to better serve your guests, you're putting in an air filtration system.
Yeah, we have. Yes, that's correct. We actually have advanced restaurant equipment, advanced case parts, and they come in, and once or twice a week, they come in and they actually fog sanitation the entire restaurant.
Wow.
And they also do up in the air AC vents. We just put in ultraviolet lights into our ice makers to help keep away and fight off mold, viruses, and so forth. And we're having that same system put into our AC vents, and I believe that goes in tomorrow. So we're trying to do what we can to make people feel comfortable and know that we're looking after our staff and our guests.
Yes, and Kim Colanino just said Jason Colanino is playing on Memorial Day.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He's incredible.
You got him.
Most people know Jason, but if you don't, he's been playing with me now for like 11, 12 years now. So it was a big blessing. And actually, I was able to get Jason a gig out in Hawaii at the Queen Kapiolani, which was right next door to my condo on Waikiki Beach. So it was kind of cool to have him there.
Well, welcome home. Thank God you're back.
Mahalo.
It's been a while. Yeah, mahalo. It's been a while, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that you're open for business. You've got indoor, a lot of outdoor dining, and the most amazing comfort food and drinks, and just, it's like a hug. It's like when you go to Ravish, it's like a hug. It really is. So Lisa,
we appreciate that.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. And many, many, many more hugs to you and everybody that's working with you. And I might even just come over on Memorial Day myself.
Yay. Many mahalos and much aloha.
Aloha. Take care.